You know, since I started the Moving to Jamaica series, a lot of people have been asking me, can I open a bank account in Jamaica as a foreigner? And I'm here to tell you, yes, you absolutely can open a bank account here in Jamaica as a foreigner, even if you don't live here. Hi, my name is Claudette and I am your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. This is a channel where we talk about all things Jamaican. We talk about our culture, our music, our heritage, our stories, everything Jamaican. You can find it here, and if you can't find it here, drop a comment and let me know what you want to know, and I will do it for you. Alright, but today this video is about opening a bank account as a foreigner. So let's dive into that. Alright, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the banks in Jamaica. Now, we have several, but the first one on the list is the National Commercial Bank. This is a local bank and it is one of the largest financial institutions on the island. Next up, we have Scotiabank Jamaica, which is a foreign bank. Canadian bank. Most Canadians and Americans will be familiar with this. I understand it's all over because while I was in Mexico, I saw it there as well. The next up, we have the Jamaican National Bank. This is another local bank and it's called JMMB, and it has a strong community banking reputation. Next on the list, we have the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce Caribbean, CIBC. And we also have the Jamaica Money Market Brokers Bank, another local bank which has grown significantly and is worth including in your research when you're going through everything. Each one has a slightly different requirement for non-residents, so it will be worth your while to check out their website to see what it is they're asking for. But in this video, I will try to cover as much as possible. All right? Alright, so now before I start listing the documents that you need, let's talk about which account it is that you would prefer to open. You have the Jamaican dollar account, which you may want to open, especially if you want to do local businesses and don't have to worry about doing the conversion rate. Alright? The Jamaican dollar account is your standard local account that is held in Jamaican dollars. It gives you full access to the local banking system. It allows you to pay local bills, receive local transfers, and operate day-to-day on the island. This is the account, however, that typically requires the most documentation, which will also include our local TRN or tax registration number. The second account you may think about is the foreign currency account. This account allows you to hold and transact in US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, or euros, depending on the bank. For non-residents, this is of the more straightforward option because some banks do not require a Jamaican TRN to open a foreign currency account. NCB, for example, requires a minimum of 100 units of your chosen foreign currency to open a foreign currency savings account. The Jamaican National Bank requires a minimum of US $100, Canadian dollars, or British pounds, depending on the currency of choice. If you're not yet living on the island full-time but you want a foothold in the Jamaican banking system, it may be best if you chose to open a foreign currency account because this will be the easiest option for you. But if you are relocating or you're doing regular business on the island, you may want to have both because they are both advantageous to you, especially if you're retiring and receiving your pension, or if you're working online and receiving your currency in US dollars, or if you get paid anything in US dollars, it may be helpful for you to have a foreign currency account. And I said US dollars, but this applies to whatever currency it is you're working with. Okay, now let's move on to the documents, right? And this is where Preparation could either make or break you. It can mash up your plans. Now, first of all, let's talk about identification. Your primary identification will most likely be your passport, and this is non-negotiable for non-residents. You have to have a passport. For your secondary identification, some banks will accept different things. For NCB, they will accept a state-issued non-driver photo ID from the Department of Motor Vehicles for U.S. applicants, or they will accept a national ID card. For CIBC Caribbean, they will accept a valid driver's license issued in your country of residence, or your national ID. JMMB asks for 2 current and valid identifications, with at least one being your passport. The Jamaica Money Market Brokers accepts a driver's license, a resident card, a citizenship card, or a passport card as your secondary ID. The point is, your secondary ID must be government issued. It must have your photo and it must be current. So please do not come here with your gym membership card or your local card from wherever and feel that that will work. It will not. And you cannot use an expired license. Don't care if you have a picture upon it. If it is expired, they will not accept it. Get something official, and if it needs being notarized, make sure it's notarized before you come here. All right? On top of your identification, you will also need to provide 2 notarized proof of your residential address from back home. This can be a recent utility bill, a bank or credit card statement, or a postmarked envelope addressed to you at your current residence, right? But remember, these all have to be notarized. Most banks specify that these must be no more than 3 to 6 months old. So don't show up with your rent receipt from last year. It will not work. You will also need to provide proof of your source of income. This can be a letter from your employer, recent pay slips, a letter from an accountant if you are self-employed, your pension statements if you are retired, your bank statements showing regular income deposited into your account. If you are unemployed or in between jobs, some banks have a verification form for that as well. So check with whichever bank you're choosing to work with to see what they have. You will also need a reference letter from your bank back home. Okay, so now let's talk about the TRN, the tax registration number. And I have some good news. Anyone can apply for a TRN number, including non-Jamaicans and non-residents, and there is no fee. If you are applying from overseas for a TRN, what you need to do is you need to go to the Tax Administration Jamaican website at jamaicatax.gov.jm. That's jamaicatax, one word, .gov.jm. Create a login, select the Apply for TRN link, and complete the web application online. Once you submit it, the system generates a completed application form, which you print, sign, and mail to TAJ along with a notarized copy of your passport or driver's license. Now here's the most important thing you need to know. The online portion only generates your form. Your application is not considered complete until TAJ physically receives your documents. Once they receive it, they will process it the same day and mail out your TRN card to the address on your application. If you're opening a foreign current account only, some banks will accept your overseas tax ID number instead. For US residents, that is your social security number. For Canadians, it is your social insurance number. For UK residents, it's your national insurance number. But if you want a full Jamaican dollar account, you will need the Jamaican TRN. So if you're going to do that, make sure you start it before you travel, because then once you receive it, you can go straight to the bank and you don't have to do anything else. I will link the TAJ website in the description below. All right, another important thing on the list is your source of funds. And this is very, very important. And this applies to us too. Every bank in Jamaica will ask you to document where the money you are depositing is coming from. This is standard, and this is our anti-money laundering compliance action. It applies to everyone, including us. We have to do it as well. It is not personal and it is not optional, so make sure you get your paperwork in order. That means you must have your bank statements, you must have your proof of employment, you must have your pension letters, you must have your property sales documents, your inheritance records. Whatever is relevant to your situation, make sure you have it, and if it needs to be notarized, do that as well, because the cleaner your paper trail, the smoother your process. All right, the next thing we need to talk about is that you have to come in person. Most banks, especially if you are a non-resident, require that you come to the bank to apply to open your bank account and complete the process face to face. They will do an interview with you at the branch. NCB specifically says that certified documents should be mailed or couriered to the branch to complete the process, meaning that you can complete some of your groundwork before you arrive, but you will still need to be there physically to complete the process. So when you're planning your trip, make sure you keep time for the bank and have one whole day for go, because listen to me, I have been there and spent all day waiting in the bank. So do not leave this to the last day, and do not come and assume it will take 30 minutes. Come prepared, make sure your belly full, and you have, well, them have water there, but come prepared to wait. If you like to read, bring a book to read, because you may need to read it. All right, so before I end this video, let me give you some final tips. Make sure you get everything notarized before you leave home. Not photocopied, notarized. There is a difference, and the banks will send you away if you get it wrong. Call the specific branch ahead of time to confirm their current requirements, because they can vary from what is required, what is stated on the website. Some of them will ask you to make an appointment to come. You can't just walk in, you may need to make an appointment. So make sure you find this out first. Bring more documents than you think you need. Bring your last 6 months bank statement, even if they never ask it. Bring an extra proof of address. A second trip to go back for it is more expensive than just making sure you have more than you need. And if you need a TRN, start the process from over there. It makes your life easier. All right? So there you have it. Opening a bank account in Jamaica as a foreigner or returning resident is absolutely possible. It just takes you to make the right preparation, have the right documents, and make a clear decision about what type of account you want and which bank you want to associate with. All the links I mentioned in the video is in the description below, including the TAJ website for TRN applications and the websites for every bank we discussed today. My name is Claudette, and I am your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. Thanks for staying with me, and if this helps you in any way, please share it with someone who is planning their move to Jamaica. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Are you thinking about relocating? Are you already here? Tell me where you are in the journey. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified each time I post a video. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Claudette, your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. Stay rooted. Ciao.